Hello, Toronto Blue Jays fans. Toronto Blue Jays fans. Welcome back to another Out of the Park 25 episode. I am your host and general manager, L.A. Knight. Yeah. And in this episode, we are in the 2030 offseason after our loss in the World Series in 6 games to the Philadelphia Phillies. Left you at the end of the last episode, letting you know we're going to need to probably find some budget room because our owner cut the budget from 280 to 264 despite our World Series appearance. He cut it like halfway through the season when our attendance was down because we were doing fine, but we'd had a bad year the year before and attendance hadn't bounced back. But it did later in the year, and we ended up making more money. And then we brought in $26.7 million in playoff revenue, but he still said, nope, I'm going with what I projected in like June or July. Sorry, it's 264. So we made some moves to try to cut some budget, and I will get into that with you now. Let's go to, I think it was in October that the move started. Maybe not. Guess it was November. Okay, let's get into November. So we traded Addison Barger. This was just because he was out of options and really hadn't, I guess, like locked down a full-time role for us. He had been a solid bench player, like a league average bench player for 3 straight years, but lost playing time last year and been optioned because we had some young players who deserved a chance more than him. He's 31, but the Twins saw him, I think, still as a fairly valuable piece. We ended up getting, I think some teams could see him as a starting player, and that's fair. It's totally fair. He never achieved that level of production for us, but we brought in David Carranza, who is a middle infielder with 65 range. He's 23, so you kind of hope that he can progress here with his hitting a bit and then be, I don't know, I see him as maybe like a utility player who can play maybe every position on the diamond except center and catcher and pitcher. So all but 3 of the 9. So I think he's a good player, though. I think he's a good get for a guy that wasn't even on our major league team. And then we also got this pitcher, Dave Grass, who's a little bit older, 25, hasn't had a ton of success or a ton of time at AAA yet, but he'll get that chance this year for us. We then, I was telling you I was going to trade Tarek Skubal because we had too many left-handed starters. We had 4 left-handed starters. So Skubal was on the last year of his deal making $12 million. We traded him to the Guardians for Hunter Brown, who's on the last year of his deal making 7.4. So we saved a little budget room there. Kobe Mayo was another guy we could move out because he was on the last year of his deal. He's about to make over $9 million. He'd been a solid third baseman for us, a bit above league average for like 4 straight years. Have been pretty good for us since we traded for him. But we had outfielders we needed to make room for, which could allow us to move Orelvis Martinez back onto the infield dirt at third base. And so Mayo was the odd guy out and also could cut some payroll. So for Mayo, we also included minor league pitcher Drew Rom, who the Twins are going to put in their bullpen, I think, after he had been at AAA for us. And we got back Doug Hambley, who I'm pretty excited about as a 70-range infielder. Those are pretty hard to acquire. He's 23. He had limited time, just 23 games at AAA last year. He was acquired as a 6th-round pick for the Phillies and then traded to the Twins for James Talon, and now here he is in Toronto. And then we also got Chris Tellisford. Chris Tellisford. He looks like a quad A catcher, probably. Like he's got the 70 framing, which is awesome. Not sure that bat's going to play at the major league level at any point. But with this level of framing, I think there's a chance that he's like our backup catcher. I don't think he's my starter at any point, but he's good catching depth considering we just lost both our catchers from last year were free agents, so we didn't bring either back. So he'll be like our third catcher, I guess, kind of. We extended a bunch of guys. Now here's the shocker. So at that point, after we'd moved out this amount of salary and shifted some things around, we had around, I think, $22 million in budget space. But at that point, Jared Jones and Gabriel Arias both accepted their qualifying offers, which was really surprising. Arias was wanting like 8 years, $20 million, I think. He just put up a 5-WAR season. He had a 5.3 WAR season a few seasons ago. Really surprised that he accepted the qualifying offer. I really don't mind it. One more year of him at 18.9, I will take. The Jared Jones, also surprising. Like he was looking for like a 6-year deal in I think the $22 to $24 million range. He's been really good starter. He's only 29. Now he missed some of last year with a ruptured tendon in his finger. But I really don't mind him coming back either. But it does totally screw our budget. so I had to go in and lower, our player development is at like 6.7 right now. Scouting I didn't bring down yet, but I'm going to bring it down. We're going to figure something out. Like, I don't plan to go into the season with these budgets this low. With this, we have $5 million in budget space after we lowered all those down, after those guys came back and took up $36 million of our 22 remaining. But then we lowered, the player development, the scouting, all that, and that's where we stand. I'm not going to trade Arias. Like, I'm happy to have him another year at short. Jones, I think I would trade. You can see our pitching staff right now would be when Smith, Ashby, Brown, Tiedemann. We'll see what we get from him. Missed 2 straight years. Looked like he was on the verge of being an ace, and then shoulder injuries. And Noble Mayer, is a decent enough 5th starter. But Jones certainly, I think, would jump into this rotation as the number 2 or number 3 starter. So at this point, I think my move would be to move out Brown or Jones, one of the two. And then go from there. Like I covered in the last episode, I think our bullpens go good. If we can't move out one of those starters, we could move out. Kerkering is taking up $10 million in space. Brock Burke's really good for us, but is $7 million. Offense side of things, I think all we're really looking for is a catcher. Now, one of our 2 catchers, we need 2 catchers. One of our 2 catchers will be our 4th-round pick from 2026, Brady Murrieta, a captain. 23-year-olds who just annihilated the ball between AA and AAA last year, 178 and then a 144 WRC plus. He played in about 110 games and put up 6.2 WAR. So he'll get a chance, but we want a good backup option. So the only free agent offer I've made so far is a 1-year, $4.24 million deal to Luis Camposano, who is solid enough defensively, reasonably priced. And last year in limited time with the Padres, he only played 39 games, but he put up 117 WRC plus. The year before that, he was bad in Texas and then really good in DC after a trade. And, he hasn't been great in this sim. His 162 game average is 1 WAR, 78 WRC plus, but coming off a good year. So looking for another value add. Also just a guy who can, play every other day or something and be a backup if Murrieta takes a job, or be the starter if Murrieta poops the bed. So that's the only move we have right now. I think that the next move would be seeing, and I'm just going to the next week, the next move would be seeing what we want to do about these pitchers, hopefully moving them out for prospects. So we can start with Jared Jones here at $18.9 million. I don't know how many teams have that budget room right now with free agency still active. Whoa, nothing came up. It's weird. Surprised there's not a single prospect offered for him. Wow, okay. That's surprising. What about Hunter Brown? Okay, so Brown looks like he could bring back a decent prospect. Here's a really young but really good prospect with that 75 range. I mean, come on, give it to me. Decent prospect with high work ethic. You're not actually a center fielder. Don't lie to me. And these 25-year-olds I'm not going to be as interested in just because of the quality of prospects and young prospects the Braves offered. Starting pitching prospect, I don't know. I'm not huge on pitching prospects. My favorite guy is this guy, Rutledge from Atlanta. Oh, shoot. I didn't want to allow them to include other players. It's going to give me all kinds of crap I don't want to do. First base doesn't really move me, guys. Can you play anywhere other than first base? Not really. So here's the Rutledge for Brown is what they're offering here. Honestly, I'm good with this deal. He's 19 and he's already shown. Well, no, never mind. I was looking at the wrong column. He hasn't shown anything with the bat yet, but he was just drafted in 2029. I mean, honestly, I think they're playing him too high. I think A and high A is too high for him. He was really good in rookie ball, and they moved him up, and I just don't think he's ready for that, which isn't the end of the world as a 19-year-old. I think I'd happily move Hunter Brown for Kevin Rutledge, and then we'd gain $7 million in budget space. We might make another move after that, honestly. I don't know exactly what that move would be, but yeah, I'm surprised Jared Jones doesn't get. I'm fine with keeping Brown over Jones, even though it would free up another 10 mil in cap space. So we're going to complete this trade. Our assistant GM doesn't like it at all, but I like it a lot. Let me just make sure there's not somebody else out here. I mean, I wouldn't say I like it a lot. I think it's a good trade, though. When considering like our budget space situation and considering that we have Jones ready to come in here and hop in as our number 2, like, I think that's totally acceptable. So let's see. So now we have 13 million in room. I'd like to be able to bump these up and still have like 5 to 10 million in room, but let me show you some about our lineup, what's going on now. So Frelick and Burris will both be in the lineup. Soto, still not willing to go anywhere, was not claimed on waivers, so he's back. I mean, he's a decent player. Like, he's going to be fine, but just would rather have that money to devote elsewhere. So really it's about bringing in Campusano. And we have a bunch of guys in AAA who are kind of inching closer. Like, this is a fun time, especially in the outfield. Like Spindler, a 4th-round pick from 2028, maybe not great in the field, but this bat, I mean, he put up a 199 WRC plus in AA and then 120 in AAA. So he's only 21. Like, that bat will play regardless of his glove. Here we've got Ignacio Ferrer, our 2nd-round pick from 2027, a top 100 prospect, who again is a corner outfielder but just murders the ball. Look at these WRC pluses. So he'll get a taste of AAA this year. Obenhaus, 70 range. We're really excited about him, and then he got injured last year. I think he could be up sooner rather than later. I don't know that he'll be up right at the start of the year, but he'll be up. Hambley is here. I think John Murphy could at some point make some noise if he keeps hitting like that. And Hunter, yeah, I mean, Hunter was great in AA last year, just crushed the ball. Our 2nd-round pick from 2028. Pitching side of things, same story. We've got some guys knocking. Dalton Juno, 3rd-round pick from 2029. Graduated from AA last year, pitching really well. Same thing with Chris Harris, our 1st-round pick from 2029. Dominated AA last year with a 2.69 ERA. He's ready for a shot soon. Carson Brumbaugh, we've gotten some. He's pitched some innings for us. Levi Sterling has just kind of been on the bubble and not taken that step. He was a high school pitcher we picked in 2024, and he's just kind of stalled out at AAA. Like, he was in the bullpen last year and pitched poorly, but hopefully he'll pitch better this year. Dave Grass, we talked about. He was in the one of the Twins trades. Gall came. What trade was that? Oh, right. We traded Giovanni Moran because he was just doing terrible. So, I mean, we've got guys coming. And if you look at AA, like, there's more guys coming down here. Like, McEachern looks like he's serviceable. Rusty Doucette is a catcher who's hit the ball really well in the low minors. Rivera, I think. Yeah, Rivera's had some up and down years, but looks like an okay prospect still. Chase Harlan has struggled at AAA. He's back down in AA. I can't remember who this guy is. Okay. Okay, he's on my short list. Got it. Okay, so yeah, I think the main move is bringing in Campusano. If he comes in at this price, we'll have that $13 million in budget room. I'd rather have a little bit more. You know, I could always look to move Kirkering and bring in, and I'm sure I'm butchering his name and have for many episodes, and bring in a reliever who looks good but much cheaper, right? Like this guy. Oh, he wants 10? I thought he was... Oh, never mind. I was like Edwin Diaz. Like, is Diaz still good? He's a 5-ball pitcher. He wants $2.2 million. So I could always look at just bringing in a cheap pitcher who we think can do a serviceable job. I don't like to mess with the back end of my bullpen too much, but like this guy, Jose Mercedes, he's so cheap, and I think he could be good. And Jose Soriano, I think he could be good. He's a ground ball pitcher. I don't honestly, like, I'd consider moving out a couple guys in my bullpen and bringing in Mercedes and Soriano. Let's see if we can get Mercedes under contract first. And Soriano. Because then if we did that, I mean, we have 17 million tied up in Kerkering and Burke. Not that I'd need to get rid of both of them, but I think I could see getting rid of one of them. Honestly, probably Kerkering. He's solid, but he's not like lights out. Like, let's see. Oops, I meant to shop you. Like, if we shop him. Okay, so he might be difficult to move. Oh, we need to go 4 today. So yeah, I mean, they want us to include cash, but I think we could get rid of him. Like, that's not a terrible prospect. It would be a bit of a salary dump, but I think we could do it. Yeah, I mean, if we hold on to a little bit of salary, more teams can afford him. I think more teams could afford him if once free agency has moved along a little bit too. This guy looks like a decent two-way player, but they're not playing him as a hitter. They're just playing him as a pitcher. It's interesting. He's making a lot of money. Jeez. Yeah, so I think I can come back to that. I mean, you know, I just put out those 2 really low offers. It's not a big deal. And honestly, like, even if we just get rid of, like, Mitch Spence at 2.3, like, we'd be saving $1 million. But I think Kerkering could be on his way out. Or Brock Burke. I mean, there's only 1 year of Burke left. But as a lefty, I think he holds a bit of value, because after that we have 2 young guys as our lefties, and I don't know that I want to rely on that. But let's see what it looks like if we shop Burke around. So yeah, I mean, there's more interest in Burke because he did have an ERA below 2 last year, and he makes a little bit less. I don't love weakening the bullpen, but I honestly think those guys that I'm bringing in could be pretty decent bullpen pieces. Let's see if we trade them for a package. That guy's not a bad pitcher. 4th round pick in 2030. He didn't pitch much last year. They have him all the way up to Double-A at one point. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to rush into a decision here with these guys. I think I can wait to see what happens to those contract offers, because who knows, maybe those guys will decide not to sign. But I'll mess around here some with it, some more, move forward some, and continue to try to piece together a team that can come back to the World Series. It's up to March 6th now, so let's recap some of the offseason. This stuff you guys all already know, but we did end up trading Hunter Brown because we didn't really need him since Jones accepted the qualifying offer. And so we got rid of, mainly to get rid of his $7.4 million salary because of our budget crunch. And we got, I think, a nice-looking prospect, Kevin Rutledge. And I'm pretty sure I didn't show you guys in the last cut. There's a little bit of time gap in real life of when I recorded the last thing, so I don't think you guys saw this one. But the 75 range, and he's only 20. And I actually, now that I'm looking at this, I might have shown you guys this. So Kevin Rutledge, meet him again. Because I think I talked about him needing more time in the lower minors. They promoted him too quickly. Going to January, we signed Ricky Tiedemann to a 2-year, $16 million extension. I'll explain that to you. So he signed this year for $7.4. You may remember Ricky Tiedemann from the 2028 season. Here we are in 2031. He missed 29 and 30 because of a rotator cuff injury. He had a setback of 15 months. Looked like a potential ace for us. He could come back and bomb. You know, don't really know. The scouting updates have been fine, like not discouraging. He hasn't lost much. Like he lost a little bit of movement, but then gained it back. He lost a little. He did lose 10 points in current and potential, but everything's still looking good here. So if he comes back and pitches well, he was going to be a really expensive free agent. So I signed him to a 2-year, $16 million deal. So he gets $8 million for next year, and then a team option for $8 million the following year. So he gets some more money in case his career ends because of his shoulder is bad, and we're only on the hook for another $8 million. I feel like that was a good move that could potentially pay off, and if it doesn't, doesn't hurt us that much. I then did decide to trade our closer, Orion Kerkering. I had to retain 15% to get the prospect that I wanted from the Royals, but I got this 23-year-old second baseman who has 70 range. I mean, he can play, I think, all over the – oh, no, he can't play outfield. That's right. That's a different guy. And he's crushed the ball in A-ball 2 years in a row for some reason. I'm going to start him in high A. Actually, he just needs to go to double A. He's 24. Yeah, he just needs to go to double A. But I actually have a lot of infield prospects. We're going to start him there, and we'll probably promote him aggressively. But he was acquired. Was he the 6th-round pick? Yeah, 6th-round pick by the Royals back in 2029. So I was happy to add him to the system, and also opened up a bunch of budget space for us. We then traded Junior Arias, who he was on my 40-man. I wasn't really sure why. I mean, he did hit the ball really well. He hit the crap out of the ball in double A and high A, then struggled in triple A, and he was on the 40-man, so I was looking to get rid of his salary, and I also brought in another $1.25 million, so that was like $2 million in budget space here. And I got Dax Kilby back, who I don't know, I don't really care about too much, but he'll be around. And then I don't think much happened in February. Oops, I went forward a year. Hold on. Yeah, so nothing happened in February. So to show you what the team looks like now, we've started spring training. We've already had one injury, not major, but Mitch Spence, who is penciled to be our long man, torn back muscle. He's wrecked his injury proneness, so don't have a lot of hope there. We're just going to go and put him on the 60-day and talk to him in a couple months if he's better. So our rotation, I think, will be Rojas is still hurt for 3 months. Got it. Place him on the injured list, 60-day. And is Coleman still hurt? Yeah, how long is he out for? 5 months. All right. Those are some injuries from last season. Probably go to a 6-man here. But, yeah, our opening day rotation is probably going to be Smith, Jones, Ashby, Tiedemann, Mayer. I am going to give – do I want Rumble or Dunlin? Let's give this to Dunlin. Let him pitch some. So you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 relievers here. 6, 7, 8 would be that. It would be Dunlin, Rumble, Soriano. So I did some Mercedes and Soriano, the offers you saw, both of them signed for what I offered them. Lowe, I think I'm going to try in the closer role. I don't know if he's good enough. Burke is probably my best reliever. I got a ton of trade offers for him for prospects, but I just wasn't impressed enough with the offers to do it. And then we have a bunch of guys who are just kind of in AAA battling for spots. I didn't bring up some of my better young prospects like Juno and Harris because I just didn't want them to come up and like maybe get hurt in spring training. So they'll be down there. But that'll probably be our bullpen. Lineups, nothing really changed. We did Camposano signed, so it'll be Camposano and Meredia there. No real position battles, I don't think. Like I think this will be our starters, and Schreier, Figueroa, and Terrell will be our Figueroa will be our bench. You know, I suppose like Ferrer could make some noise. Obenhaus is certainly coming soon. Infield, like John Murphy, I don't think is quite ready. He hasn't played at AAA yet. Telesford will probably be our third catcher. We do have Matthew Wood too, who could potentially come up if our other catchers are bad. But I think that's kind of what our offense is going to look like, and our pitching staff is fairly set too. I was able to bump my player development budget up to 14.75. I brought my draft budget like 1.3 million below the slot amounts because I can normally work with that. I'm going to sit out the international market this year just because I wanted to put the money into player development, and I wanted some money here to play with for like trades and stuff. So going to sit out the free international free agent market. Not ideal, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Honestly, just sit it out. Like, just not getting some lottery tickets this year. No big deal. And next year we have a ton of budget room. So again, just not terribly worried about doing that for 1 year and lowering the player development for 1 year. Like all those will go back up next year. But as we skip it, I'll skip ahead here some in spring training. When's opening day? The 6th. All right, so I can. But yeah, I could see going out. Oh gosh, that's a major injury. Aaron Ashby, 10 months. Kind of wish we'd held on to Hunter Brown now, huh? So our number 2 starter is out for the year, and the season hasn't even started. Cool. Very cool. Very awesome. Let's move Rumble in there. I mean, Shane Baz was pretty decent in Pittsburgh last year. Jordan Montgomery was pretty decent in Tampa. He's wrecked. I don't love that. Shane Baz has normal. We have some experience with Shane Baz. We revitalized his career, to be honest with you. Brad Basso. Who's that? Okay. Yeah, we're going to need to sign a starter, which sucks to spend more money. That was Tanner Houck. Tanner Houck made... Oh, okay. So he pitched in San Juan and Miami last year, and he was fine. And he wants less than all of them. I wonder if we can talk him even lower. No, dude, you're going to come right to the major leagues. So can I, like, take some off if I bring you right to the major leagues? All right. So we'll see if Tanner Houck wants to come in and help us out. Maybe I should sign a couple of these guys who want minor league deals. I mean, Ian Anderson is wrecked. How about just a minor league contract, bro? Maybe sign like 2 pitchers just to pitch in AAA and be there in case we need it. Bybee, man, had a rough year last year. Wow. Logan Gilbert is still out there, wants $6 million. Bryce Elder. Josiah Gray. Oh, he's been in the independent circuit, independent ball for a while. Yeah, how about just a minor league deal, bro? Okay, so that's a bit of a gut punch to lose your number 2 starter for the year in spring training, and a guy that's getting a little older, and you have under contract for 3 more years after this one. Now his salary goes down a little bit. We're not paying him a ton. Like he really didn't cost as much as I thought he was going to cost. Frelick with a day-to-day injury, that's fine. I was starting to say something about the roster and then totally lost my train of thought. Okay, cool. So Tanner Houck is in. These guys are in. Put them in AAA. They're kind of like some good depth for us down there, I think. Tanner Houck can join the club. Come on in and probably take Rumble's spot here. All right. So gives me a little better of a feeling about the rotation, bringing in a veteran like that, but don't love the injury. Oh, had some development lab stuff I was finishing up. Didn't have anything huge. I mean, this outstanding thing didn't actually result in a change in the contact rating. Didn't have a great and no huge successes in the lab this year. We'll go ahead and just go up a little bit. Why don't we just go up to let's just go up to opening day. I know normally I start a new episode on opening day, but let's go ahead and do that. So Brock Burke is out for 1 week. Yeah, you can't get hurt though, sir. That is not allowed. So we have about a week's worth of games left in spring training. Do we have any spring training games in April? It's so weird how it's only 3 days between that. That must be something in my settings. I don't know what's up with that, but 3 days between the end of spring training and opening day I don't like, because got to make sure your number 1 starter isn't throwing there. Let's go make some cuts. Wow, Noel Mayer getting bounced around. So who's definitely not making the team here? This guy's not. Yeah, how many pitchers do we have in camp right now? 22. So let's get rid of a bunch. You're not making the team. You're not making the team. Ben Cleaver is not making the team. Turnquist is not going to make the team. I mean, most of these guys aren't, but I kind of like to keep some of them around through the end of spring training, so my guys don't throw too many innings. We can definitely get rid of... Yeah, we can get rid of Broomball, actually, too. So, get rid of a bunch of these catchers. Let's get rid of Blake Hunt. Let's get rid of Matthew Wood, and we'll keep 3 catchers in camp then. We only have 1 extra infielder here. We'll leave him. Let's send some of these guys down, though. How's Obenhaus doing, I wonder? Actually, I'm not going to take the time to switch all that around. Yeah, all these guys are decent prospects. I'll leave them up. We've got 20 hitters, so we'll need to cut a bunch, obviously. But we can just go up and see what's, get our opening day roster going and see what the predictions say. All right, so let me... bench him for 5 days. And bench him for 5 days, because I don't want them pitching anymore this preseason. Well, Dunlin pitched pretty well. Dunlin kind of outpitched Noble Mayer, honestly. Something to keep an eye on. We're not going to change up our depth chart based off of the spring performance, but something to keep an eye on for sure. Soriano, I think, will be middle relief. Shamar Rumble will be middle relief. And then, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 7. So we have 1 more, and Dunlin will be in middle relief. And then we'll go and let, Jan can be set up. Burke can be a backup closer. Bukakis, right. That all looks good. We'll put you in a long... We'll let all these guys kind of like split the long relief duties. I like to spread out the if you have 1 long reliever, gives them a ton of innings, which I'm fine with. And if one of these guys establishes himself as deserving that, I'll do it. But for now, I'm just going to do this. And then on the other side of things, Telesford will go down to AAA, as will Joe Murphy. I do think I have like 2-3 games left. So here, let me go forward a little bit more. Getting a monthly autosave here. The Alaska Gold Pens Midnight Sun Game. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. Sterling, Rumble. So Jones lost some stuff. That's fine. Houck went up. Spindler. Ooh, Dalton Juno. Go 92 to 94 to 95 to 97. Wow. That's an explosion, dude. That's huge from our 3rd round pick in 2029. Huge stuff. Got some other Ellaby's looking good. Dax Kilby doing decent. Murphy saw an improvement. This is a pretty good overall scouting update. Cool. Day to day. All right. What do we have? 2 games left? All right. Cool. These guys are still benched for 2 days. That's fine. All right. So let's get our Spindler. We'll go down and get our roster trimmed down here. Spindler goes down where he'll get a lot of playing time and should be up soon. Obenhaus is probably next man up if we need to call up a bat. Anthony Murphy, I think he had a good yeah, he had a bunch in February where it's oh shoot, he's gonna be a problem for AAA pitching this year. I think we're gonna have a really good AAA team. We have a lot of decent prospects in AAA and AA that are kind of ready for the next level. I guess I need to put up a 145. So Hunter will go to AAA. Yeah, AAA. My AAA team's pretty stacked. There's one more guy. It's Ferrer, I think. Yeah, who demolished a high A and AA last year, and is our top prospect, or was at the last updates. Okay, so we got 13 there. Oh, shoot, we still got 17 here. I thought I'd done this. Barreria goes down. Sterling. Basically, all these guys are going down. And then we'll make sure. I think our rolls are looking right. Let's go put Hauk there. Yeah, you need to be on 80 pitches, dude. We can bump him up to 90 now. All right. Let's go up to opening day and see what the predictions say for your defending AL champs. I did, by the way, I did change the postseason, so the structure is still the same. It's like 4 teams from each in the wild. You know, you don't get a bye as a division winner, but you now get a 1-game advantage. So it's like a best of 3, but you're up 1-0. So the wild card team has to beat the division winner twice in a row on the road, so at home for the division winner. So you get a game advantage, which I like that. I've never really played with that system before, but going to go with that. Received a personal message. Players promoted. Played better than 500. We can definitely do that for you, sir. We do not have any prospects in the top 10, which is expected. That's not unexpected. Preseason predictions have us finishing 87 and 75. Scoring a decent amount of runs, 4.16 year. Pretty good team. We would get the second wild card here, or we tie for the wild card with the O's. Toronto side of things, Juan Soto had a good year in this sim. That would be nice if he could actually do that. I mean, a 500 slug from Soto. He put up a 398 last year. He hasn't been over 500 since 2027. Unreal. We got the Yankees expected to pace the division. Rangers expected to pace the West. Braves and Marlins, Pirates, Phillies all in a cluster at the top of the NL East. The Cardinals expected to win the NL West. Oh, first I thought that was Ethan Salas playing third base, but it's not. It's an international signing of the... Cool. Who's this guy? Free agent signing. International. Who's this guy? 2028 pick. International free agent. Yeah, a lot of international free agents popping up. How many years is Yamamoto left? 2031. Oh, this is his last year. He's won 1 Cy Young, 4 All-Star games, 1 Rookie of the Year. Okay. All right, so I'm going to wrap the episode here. And next time I'll come, at some point in the season, probably around the draft, start the episode there. But I feel like the offseason was decent, unexpected offseason. The Ashby injury absolutely sucks, but Tiedemann can step up and fill that void if he can come back and be Tiedemann and stay healthy. I feel good about our offense, and I feel good about the youth movement that's coming. We have a wave of young players coming over the next 2 seasons. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you in the next episode. Bye.